The guard suddenly noticed something strange. The cell wall had turned extremely soft. He could even scrape off pieces of plaster with his bare hands. He peered through the gap. What he saw chilled him to the bone. Hidden behind the wall was an aircraft blueprint and a notebook. The detective's heart sank because the cell belonged to John, the most ruthless criminal in the entire country. At just 39 years old, he'd already spent 25 years behind bars. With an IQ of 250, he'd committed every crime imaginable: kidnapping, robbery, murder. He'd masterminded 5 prison breaks and incited 6 riots. Yet right now, he was locked up in the Sky Prison, the most escape-proof prison in the world. Every year, the U.S. airlifted 100,000 inmates to prisons across the globe. Only the worst of the worst, those sentenced to life without parole, ever set foot on this plane. The guards on board had no idea a terrifying jailbreak was about to unfold. John slowly pulled 2 steel pins out from the calluses on his palms, then picked the lock on his handcuffs with ease. At the same time, Anthony tugged a thin string out of his mouth and pulled a small package up from his esophagus. He opened it to reveal a tiny vial of gasoline and a match.
If you come through this all right, hope you don't hold a grudge.
The fuck are you doing?
Caribbean screams drew the guards' attention. As the guards rushed over to restrain Anthony, he snatched the keys from one guard's belt. He twisted the keys and unlocked the door to the maximum security cells. A burly prisoner charged out instantly, tackling a guard to the ground. John, now free, sprinted toward the cockpit. He took control of the co-pilot in one move, knocked the captain unconscious, and seized command of the plane. He ordered the captain to turn off the alarm. With the only gun on the plane in his hand, John became the undisputed ruler of this airborne prison.
Welcome to Con Air.
Including poor Cage, the unluckiest man on the plane. 8 years ago, Cage had just returned home from the military. He'd accidentally seriously injured a thug while protecting his pregnant wife. Charged with manslaughter, he'd been sentenced to 8 years in prison. Every single day behind bars, he'd ached for his wife and daughter. Finally, on his daughter's 8th birthday, he'd been granted parole. The guards had put him on this flight to send him home. He never thought he'd end up in the middle of a jailbreak.